Hello students, how are you all? I hope you all are fine. Welcome to your e-learning classes of Asansol North Point School. Today we are going to study the topic adjectives. So from your junior class you have been studying about what are adjectives. Adjectives are describing words. So an adjective describes, identifies or quantifies a noun or a pronoun. That means an adjective gives us the description or identifies or quantifies a noun or a pronoun. Adjectives describe nouns or pronouns by giving some information about a person's or an object's shape, age, color, origin or material. That means adjectives describe a noun or a pronoun by giving some information about a person's or an object's size, shape, color, age, origin or material. Alright, that means it gives us the information about a person or an object, and it can be about their shape, size, age, color, origin or material. Alright. Now, adjectives are words that describe nouns. Alright, that gives us some information about the noun. Adjectives answer such questions as what kind, which one, how many. Adjectives, you will find that they answer the questions such as what kind, which one and how many. Just as we will be moving into the types of adjectives, you will find that each of the types of adjectives, they will be themselves asking a question. Either it is what kind or which one or how many. Alright. So, now the next is adjectives can be used to describe either it can be shape or size or age or color, origin, material, opinion, distance, temperature or time. So when you are talking about any kind of size, that means, for example, it can be big, small, tall, short. These it can be. When you are talking about any size, when you are talking about any kind of shape, for example, round, square, triangle, oval, it can be any shape. Alright. When you are talking about age, it can be old, young, anything. When it is about color, for example, blue, red, yellow, green, any color. When you are talking about origin, that means it can be German, American, Indian, European, anything. About material, glass, metal, wood, anything it can be. About opinion, for example, good, bad, right, wrong, any opinion it can be. When you are talking about any kind of distance, it can be near, far, anything. Temperature, that is cold, warm, hot, cool, any temperature it can be. And time, it can be either late or early, any time. So adjectives can be used to describe these kinds of things, that is size, shape, age, color, origin, material, opinion, distance, temperature, time. So when we are talking about these things, that means they are describing some noun that is being used in the sentence. Alright, now next is the kinds of adjectives. Okay, so first that you have in your book is adjective of quality. Next is adjective of quantity. Third one is demonstrative adjective. Then you have interrogative adjective. Then you have possessive adjective. Then after that you have adjective of number, proper adjective, emphasizing adjective and compound adjective. So these are the kinds of adjectives that you have in your book. So now we will move on to the detail of these 9 kinds of adjectives. First that you have is adjective of quality. Now, what do you mean by adjective of quality? Adjective of quality are used to describe the quality of a noun, its shape, size, color, state or condition. They answer the question, what kind of? Now, when we are talking about adjective of quality, this means it describes the quality of a noun. The quality of a noun, it can be either its shape, size, color, state or condition. Anything it can be. It is describing about the noun. That the noun, it can be its shape, its size, its color, its state, its condition, anything. For example, tall, excellent, slim, young, brown. These are all examples of adjective of quality. Now you can see 2 sentences over here. The tall girl is my classmate. So what kind of girl is my classmate? The tall girl is my classmate. So the word girl over here is the noun. And the word tall over here is describing the word noun, that is girl. What kind of girl? Tall girl. That means what quality the noun is having? The girl is tall. Alright, it is showing us what quality the girl is having. The girl is tall. Okay. So it is describing the height of the girl, that is, it is tall. Okay. Now, the students achieved excellent results. So over here, what kind of results the students are getting? Excellent result. Okay. So what quality of result the student is getting? Excellent result. Okay. So anything that is describing the noun or the quality of the noun, those words are called the adjective of quality. Alright. Now let's move on to the next type, that is adjective of just give me a second. Adjective of quantity. So from the word quantity itself, you can understand that it is talking about some kind of amount that is being spoken of. So adjective of quantity are used to specify the quantity of the noun being talked about. They answer the question how many in case of countable nouns and how much in case of uncountable nouns. Now, your question will be that how will we understand that what is adjective of quantity? Now, when you are talking about any quantity of noun, then that time we either question how many if it is in the case of countable nouns and how much if it is in the case of uncountable nouns. For example, she found many pens under the table. So, she found how many pens under the table? Many pens. Alright. So, pen is first of all, it is countable noun. You can count the number of pens that is under the table. So, we are asking the question how many? How many pens? Many pens. She found under the table. Now next is there are 7 boxes in the room. How many boxes in the room? There are 7 boxes in the room. That is, you can count the number of boxes that is present in the room. That is 7 boxes. Alright. Now, if I give you one example, give me some water. That means water is first of all uncountable noun. So, how much water I want? I want some water. Alright. So, this way when we are using the words in order to show some kind of quantity of the noun, then these are called the adjective of quantity. And if the noun is in countable form, then we ask the question how many, and if the noun is in uncountable form, we ask the question how much. You can see some examples over here. Some, much, little, enough, no, any. These are the words which are mostly used for adjective of quantity. Alright. Now, next is demonstrative adjective. Alright. So, demonstrative adjectives are used to point out a specific noun or pronoun. When you are pointing out towards a specific noun or pronoun, that time the words that you are using are called the demonstrative adjective. I repeat, when you are using any adjective or you are using any word to point out a noun or a pronoun, then they are called the demonstrative adjectives. For example, you can see over here the words which are used for the demonstrative adjective are this, that, those and these. These are the words which are used for demonstrative adjective, that is in order to point out a specific noun or pronoun. See the example over here. This is my friend Diksha. That means I am pointing out towards my friend whose name is Diksha. I am pointing out towards one of my particular friends whose name is Diksha. That's why I am using the word this over here in order to point out towards the noun, that is friend, whose name is Diksha, who is my friend. And I am using the word this. With the help of the word this, I am pointing out towards the noun specifically. Now, those books belongs to her. When I am pointing out towards the books over there, in this particular sentence, those books belong to her. That means I am pointing out towards those particular number of books which belongs to her. Alright, or maybe anyone over here. So, I am pointing out towards some specific books which belongs to somebody else, that is her. And in order to point out that these specific number of books belongs to somebody else, I am using the word those over here in order to point out. Alright. Now, the next that you have is interrogative adjective. Interrogative adjectives are used to ask questions and are always followed by a noun. Now, when you are talking about the interrogative adjective, you can understand that you are going to ask a question, because the word interrogative means to ask question. And the question when you are asking, that time it is always followed by a noun. You can see the examples over here, the words which are mainly used for interrogative adjective. That is what, whose, where, how and which. These are the words which are used for interrogative adjective. For example, whose shirt is this? I am asking a question over here, whose shirt is this? Whose is the interrogative adjective over here, and it is followed by the noun shirt. Alright. Just as according to the definition, whenever you are asking any question, that time the words which you are using for the interrogative adjective, it is always followed by a noun. Just as this example, whose shirt is this? Whose is the interrogative adjective over here, and this is just followed by the noun word, that is shirt. Alright. And the question is, whose shirt is this? That means the shirt belongs to whom? Which way shall we go? Now, which is the interrogative word? Now, the question that is being asked over here is, which way shall we go? Which is the way in which we will be going? Alright. Now, the next that you have over here is possessive adjective. Possessive adjectives are used to indicate ownership or possession and always comes before the noun. They answer the question whose. Now see over here, possessive comes from the word possession. Possession means something which belongs to you or to somebody else. Here it indicates any kind of ownership, okay? Or any kind of possession. Alright, the thing that belongs to you or it belongs to somebody else. And always comes before a noun. This possessive adjective is always placed before the noun in order to show the possession. Alright? And they always answer the question whose. The words which are mainly used for the possessive adjectives are mine, your, his, her, our, their and its. These are the words which show the possession. Alright. Now you can see two examples over here. This is his hat. When I am stressing on the word his over here, that means I am talking about one specific hat over here which belongs to somebody else. That means the hat is the possession of somebody else. The hat belongs to somebody else. Alright. Now, their parents came to my house yesterday. Now, when I am stressing on the word their, that means I am talking about somebody else's parents. Alright. Their parents, the parents belong to somebody else. They are not my parents, they are somebody else's parents. Came to my house. My over here, again I am giving the stress, my house. That means specifically that house belongs to me. I am the owner of the house. Alright. So I am showing the possession upon the house, that is with the word my. That is my house. So their parents, somebody else's parents, their parents came to my house. That is the house belongs to me yesterday. Now, so possessive adjective means it shows any kind of ownership or possession. Either it belongs to you or it belongs to somebody else. Now, the next is adjective of number. When you are talking about adjective of number, then it is used to indicate the number of the nouns. That means how many things or how many persons are there being used in that particular sentence. It shows the number of the nouns that has been used in the specified sentence. Now, there are 4 types of adjective of number. You can see over here. The first is indefinite adjective. The second is distributive. Third one is cardinal. And the last one is ordinal. So, we will be moving into details about the 4 different types of adjective of number. So let's move into their details. The first that you have is indefinite adjective. Now what do you mean by indefinite adjective? From the word indefinite you can understand that when something that is not specified, that is something not specifically shown or something which is not specifically given over here. Just as the meaning of the word definite means something which is specified or something which you are sure of. Okay, so indefinite is just the opposite of the word definite. So the definition of indefinite adjective is they don't specify a particular number. That means they are not giving you any particular number that is being used or any particular number of nouns they are not providing you. Some people wants to go to Delhi. The example that you have for indefinite adjective, some people wants to go to Delhi. That means no as such specified number of people is given who wants to go to Delhi. Some people, it can be 5, it can be 10, it can be 15, 50, 100, many people it can be. Alright. So, no as such specific number is given in order to show the number of the noun which is being spoken about in this sentence. Some people wants to go to Delhi. So some word over here is indefinite because it is not giving you any specific number of people who wants to go to Delhi. Next is distributive adjective. They are used to refer to a person or thing separately. Now when you are talking about distributive adjective, it means from the word itself you can understand that you are going to distribute among each of the persons or things that is being spoken of in the particular sentence. They are used to refer to persons or things that is being spoken separately in the sentence. For example, each participant was rewarded. Maybe there are 10 participants, so each of the 10 participants was rewarded. Individually, each of the participants who participated in the program was rewarded. So, distributive adjective means when you are referring to each person or thing individually or separately. Alright? In a group, when you are talking about in a group, when we are speaking about in a group, that time we are referring to each person or thing individually or separately. Alright, now the next type that you have is cardinal number. Now what is cardinal number? They mention the exact number of the nouns. When you are being given the exact number of the noun that is being used in that particular sentence, that is called the cardinal number. I asked you 3 times. Over here, how many times I asked you? 3 times I have asked you. One specific number of time is given in this sentence, that is 3 times. Okay, neither more than 3 nor less than 3. There isn't any other confusion. One specific number if it is given, then it is called the cardinal number. Okay, 3 over here is the cardinal number. Next is ordinal number. They mention rank, position or order of a noun. Always when you are talking about the ordinal numbers, they mention or they give us the information about the rank, position or order of a noun. For example, Kshitij came first in the examination. That means over here we are getting the rank or the position of Kshitij. That is, what is Kshitij's rank in the exam? He got first in the exam. He is first in the exam or he stood first in the exam. Whenever you are showing any kind of rank or position of a noun in a series or in a sentence, that time the words which are used, they are called the ordinal numbers. Clear? Now, the next type that you have in your book is the proper adjectives. Proper adjectives are formed from proper nouns. So, from the word itself, proper adjective, you can well and understand that they are coming from the proper nouns. For example, American, Japanese, Australian, French, these are the kinds of words that are used for proper adjectives. For example, I love French food. I love what kind of food? I love French food. French word itself you can understand, it is coming from the proper noun France. From the word France you are getting the word French. So the word French, that is being used over here as proper adjective. Just as, for example, the second one, there are 2 American tourists in the hotel. So over here, the word American is coming from the proper noun America. Alright, the people who are staying in America, they are called the Americans. Okay. So the word American, it's coming from the word America, and that's why it is being used in this sentence. This means there are two American tourists in the hotel. That means there are two Americans who are tourists and they are staying in the hotel. So proper adjectives are those words which are mainly received, which are mainly got from the proper nouns. Alright. Now the next type is compound adjectives. Now what are compound adjectives? Compound adjectives are those are formed when two or more than two words are joined together to modify the same noun. These words are usually separated with a hyphen. Now compound nouns, see over here, they are formed when two or more than two words are joined together. That means either two words or more than two words, they are joined together to modify the same noun. That means the noun which has been used in order to modify the noun, or in order to give some more information about the noun, two or more than two words are joined together. So when two or more than two words are being joined together, then it is giving us a single meaning. The two different words, they have different meaning, but together they are giving us one single meaning. For example, he submitted a 10-page assignment. Alright, in this example, 10-page, this is the compound adjective. Alright, because if you separate these two words, 10 it's a number, page it's a different thing. So when we are combining these two words together, 10 page, that means you are putting one hyphen in between 10 and page, and then you are combining the two words, that is 10 page, and the word 10 page is showing you the number of assignment which this particular student has submitted. Alright, how many assignments the student has submitted? 10 page. The word 10 page, it is being joined together in order to give the information about the assignment which the student is giving. That is, the student is giving 10 page. Two words are being joined together, 10 and page, and then the new word that is being formed is 10 page. Alright. Now, these words are usually separated with a hyphen. Just as you have seen over here, 10 page, these two words are joined together with the help of the hyphen. Now, the next example that is here, they have a 3-year-old daughter. Now, the noun over here is daughter. So, in this sentence, we are getting the age of the daughter. Alright, how is this being shown? By joining three different words together, that is 3-year-old. All these three, they are being joined together with the help of a hyphen, and it is showing the age of the daughter, that is 3-year-old. If we separate these three words, that is 3-year-old, they three have different meaning, each have a different meaning. But in this particular sentence, all these three words, they have been joined together with the help of a hyphen, and they are giving us one single meaning, that is the age of the daughter. The meaning is they have a 3-year-old daughter. Alright, together they are giving us the age of the daughter, that is their daughter is 3-year-old. Okay. Now, if the first part of the compound adjectives ends in an ly, then there is no hyphen between the words. You have to remember this point, that in case the first part of the compound adjectives ends with an ly, then there is no hyphen between the words. See the example. I had to sleep on a badly prepared bed. See over here, the first part, that is the word badly. Over here it is ending with the word ly. So if you have such kind of word in a sentence where the first part of the compound adjective is ending with ly, that time there we don't use the hyphen in between the two words, just as no hyphen is being used over here with the compound adjective badly prepared. Alright. The next topic that you have is order of adjective. When more than one adjective is used to describe a noun, it usually follows a particular order. So over here, this means when in a single sentence you have more than one adjective which is being used to describe one particular noun, then those adjectives need to follow one particular order. So that order, how you will follow this, that particular order should be followed according to this table that is given over here. So with the help of example, I'll just show you how you will follow the table. Just as the first example that you have over here is, they have a ferocious big 2-year-old black dog. So in this sentence, you can find there are so many adjectives being used in order to describe one noun, that is dog, which is being given over here. Alright. So how are you going to use these adjectives according to this table? That is, how will you arrange them in the sentence? Alright. Now, the first in the table, the first that you have, the first option that you have, that is quantity. Alright. They have a. Over here means 1. Alright. Which is showing the quantity over here. That means they have 1 dog. That's why a is given. Alright. That's why I have written 1 over here. I have kept it in the first place over here. Alright, because quantity is the first thing. Now, second is over here general opinion. So, as such, there is no general opinion that is being given. So, I am going to skip to the third criteria that is being used over here. That is the specific opinion. So, what specific opinion is being given over here about the dog? That is, the dog is ferocious. Okay. So, this is the third part. That's why I have skipped the second option and I have put the third that is given, that is the specific opinion over here. Now, the next that you have is size. So, the size is given over here, that is the dog is how? The dog is very big in size. Alright. Now, the next is temperature. The next criteria that you have is temperature. But in this sentence, we don't have any temperature which is being given over here. So, we will skip this part. The next that you have in the table is shape. So, over here, there isn't any shape of the dog that is being given. So, we are going to skip this shape also. The next that you have in the table is age. The age over here is given. What is the age of the dog? The dog is 2 years old. Alright. So, we have put the age over here. I have put the age of the dog over here. That is, the dog is 2 years old. The size was given. Then temperature and shape is not given. Then I have put the age that is given. Next, the criteria that you have is color. Alright. So, the color is also being mentioned over here. That is, the color of the dog is what? It is black in color. Alright. Now, next is nationality. But as such, no nationality of the dog is given over here. That is, the dog is coming from which country or it is coming from which place. Nothing has been given over here. Alright. Now, the last that you have over here is material. Just as you can find that the dog is a living thing, it is not a non-living thing. It is not any kind of thing. So, the word material is not being used over here. Now, the second example that you have is, She stores her jewelry in a tiny square red Spanish box. Alright. Now again with this example, with the table, how will you go? She stores her jewelry. Alright. In it is coming again under the criteria of quantity. Alright. Means a single, it is being spoken about one single box. Alright. Next, general opinion. We are not having any kind of general opinion over here, so we are going to skip this option, this criteria. Next, the third one is specific opinion. We don't have any specific opinion also over here, so you are going to skip that part. Size. Size is being given over here. What kind of it is? A very tiny, very small in size. Alright. Next, we have temperature. So, nothing about the temperature which is related to the box is given over here. So, you are going to skip this part. That is the temperature. Okay. Shape. Shape has been given over here. That is, the box is square in shape. So, just after the size, we don't have temperature, so no temperature is given over here. I have skipped this part. Next, I have put the shape over here. Alright. Next, you have age. No such age of the box is given over here because box is a non-living thing. It is not a living thing. That's why the age part we are going to skip from here. So, the next very type that you have is color. The color of the box is being mentioned over here. That is, the box is red in color. So, just after the shape, the age we don't have. We have skipped the age. We have the color which we have put over here. Alright. Next is the nationality. The nationality of the box is given. That means this box is a Spanish box. Spanish word, it comes from the word that is Spain. Alright. From there we are getting the word Spanish. So the nationality is given over here, that is, it is Spanish. Material, no as such specific material is being given over here that is related to the box. So we can skip this part also. Alright. So I hope the order of adjective is clear with you. Now the next that you have in your topic is degree of comparison. Alright. There are three forms of comparison. The first is positive, comparative is the second one, and superlative is the third one. Alright. Now, what are these three types, that is positive, comparative and superlative, we are going to study. Positive. The positive degree is the base form of the adjective. In ordered words, a positive degree offers no comparison. Now, positive degree is just the base form of the adjective. Alright. It does not offer any kind of comparison between any other person or thing. It is just the base word. For example, if I give you tall. Alright. Tall is the base form of the adjective. That is, it is in the positive degree. Alright. Now, next is comparative. When we want to compare two things or groups of things, we use comparative degree. When you want to compare, comparative comes from the word compare. Alright. So from the word itself you can understand when you want to compare anything, then you have to have at least two things with you. Alright. So when we want to compare two things or groups of things, we use the comparative degree. Okay. Comparative degree is formed by adding ER to the base adjective or adding more before the adjective. Alright. So how will you form the comparative degree of the base form of the adjective? That is, from the positive degree, how will you change into comparative degree? When you are comparing two things, you are just going to add ER to the base adjective. Just as in the base adjective, I had used the word tall. So in comparative degree, what will be the word? It will be taller. T-A-L-L-E-R. You are just adding ER to the word and it is being changed into the comparative degree. But in some cases, instead of adding ER, we have to add more before the adjective. Regarding this more and most, I am going to give you some more examples later on. I'll explain it. Now, the next that you have is superlative degree. We use superlative degree to compare 3 or more nouns. Now, over here, when you are comparing 3 or more than 3 nouns, that time we use superlative degree. So, superlative degree is formed by adding est to the base adjective or adding most before an adjective. We use the word before, the superlative, we use the before the superlative degree of an adjective. Now, whenever you are changing the basic form of the adjective into the superlative degree, that time, just as in the comparative degree, you were adding ER to the word. So, in the superlative degree, you are just going to add EST. That is, the word that we had used in the positive degree was tall. In the comparative degree, the word was taller, T-A-L-L-E-R. Now, in the superlative degree, what will be the example? Tallest, T-A-L-L-E-S-T will be added. Alright. So, this way a word is being changed from a positive degree into comparative degree by adding ER. Then it is being changed into superlative degree by adding EST to the basic form of the adjective. Okay. Here also, in some cases, we use the word most before the adjective. So, where you are going to use more and where you are going to use most, I'll be telling you just a bit later. Okay? And whenever you are using the superlative degree in a particular sentence, that time we always use the word the, T-H-E, the, before the superlative degree of an adjective. Alright? Now, next, here are some examples with which you can understand how, where you are going to add ER or EST. Let me tell you. First, you have clean. Okay? When you are changing it into comparative degree, then you are just adding ER to the comparative degree and it's being changed. And superlative degree, you are adding EST. That means just with the basic adjective, you are adding ER in the comparative degree, that is cleaner. And over here EST and it's being changed into cleanest. Okay. Now next is dirty. Okay. So dirty, when you are changing into comparative degree, Y is over here, Y is getting removed. Instead of Y, IER is being put over here. Okay. In the comparative degree. And in the superlative degree again, the Y is getting removed. IEST, dirtiest. Okay. Next is bigger. So when you are using this word bigger over here, B-I-G, big, in the comparative degree, just because the G is the consonant and just before the G, the vowel I is given, that's why the consonant is being doubled over here. That is B-I-G-G-E-R, bigger, and over here biggest, B-I-G-G-E-S-T. Okay. Next is long. Again over here when you are changing into comparative degree, ER you are adding, that is longer, and EST, longest. Smart, smarter, smartest. Okay. So this is how you are going to add ER to the words in order to change it into comparative degree, and EST in order to change it into superlative degree from the base words or from the base adjectives. Alright. Now, where you are going to use the word more and most. Okay. For example, beautiful. I am taking the second example first. Beautiful. When I am pronouncing the word beauty, parts, that is beau, tea and full. Alright, beau. U sound is, one sound is coming, one vowel sound is coming. Beau, U sound is coming. Alright, tea, E sound is coming, and full, again U sound is coming. That means when I am dividing the words into 3 parts, I am getting 3 vowel sounds. Alright, so these words are called the double syllable words. These words are called the multiple syllable words. So when you have these kinds of multiple syllable words, that time you are going to use more for the comparative degree and most for the superlative degree. And just in the previous slide I told you that in the superlative degree you are always going to use the word the just before the superlative degree, that is the most beautiful. Clear? Now difficulty. Difficult. So when I am pronouncing this word, it has it is divided into 3 parts. One is D, E sound. Next is P, again E sound, and cult. Cult, R sound is coming. So when I am dividing this into 3, again this is a multisyllable word. Alright, so again when you are changing it into comparative degree, it is more difficult, and in the superlative degree, with the help of the word the, it is the most difficult. Okay, so that's all for today. We will be meeting in the next video with some